Welcome back to Time to Change. I'm Chasen Forehand,
And I'm Dr. Melissa.
and we get to have conversations with people that are creating change.
Not just change, actionable change.
And I love that because that means that they're impacting lives in the world.
Yes, they are. So much that we have 8 seasons of them.
I love that. And I can't wait to get started. So let's get to it.
Welcome back to Time to Change. I'm Chasen Forehand.
I'm Dr. Melissa.
And today in the house, John Burton, singer-songwriter, host of the Home From Here show, founder and director of the Lifted Project, and this incredible song. If you don't know this, you really need to check it out. We Won't Be Broken from last year. That was the theme song. It's amazing. And we are going to get into all of it. But first, welcome to Time to Change, John. Thank you so much for being here. See that
Thank
button
you for having
sticking.
me.
I really
Yeah.
need to get it on my pad here so that make a. It's really big.
I thought Dr. Melissa had like 12 hands and was just doing that all.
Yeah, she was just like, "Come
That's
on,
my job. Yes.
can you do the thing?" No,
My job to do the impossible.
Oh, spirit fingers. Yeah, love it. The first question. So you and I got introduced by a friend from the Outlier Project, Susan, and she sent me your way, and we were going to get on Home From Here show, your podcast, which
Yes,
is
please.
absolutely amazing. And life just happened. We had all kinds of stuff, but I got to come out and with my wife Jody and see you in public. He lives not too far from me, so we got to see him play and sing. And oh man, you had another cool dude with you,
Adam Falcon.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So you two were just amazing, going back and forth, playing and singing.
thank
It
you.
was outstanding. So I
Thank you
guess
very
the first thing is, how long have you been a singer-songwriter, and like, how did that come about?
I started playing guitar. So I grew up in Rhinebeck, and I started playing guitar when I was 5 years old. I went to a Catholic. Do we curse or we don't curse here?
YouTube doesn't like it so
Got
much
it.
when we
Okay.
do.
Good. I can work clean.
Okay. All right.
So I went to a Catholic kindergarten, and this nun walked in with a guitar, and she sang "Happiness Is" from "You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown" with this
Yeah.
guitar, and I was like, I can't marry the nun because she's a nun, or because I was 5, but I would have if I could have. So I went out and at a rummage sale for $1. My mom got me a 6-string guitar. Got it home, broke the high E string like within the first hour. So for about now, this is Rhinebeck, New York, in the I don't want to tell you, but 1960s and early 70s. And Dr. Melissa, why did I have to add that? Let's just say 1960s. So so the first 4 or 5 years of playing guitar, I played a 5-string guitar. And guitar. There weren't like a bunch of music stores to go to in Rhinebeck.
Things are expensive,
especially
for a kid.
So so I started playing that, and then I realized that I liked. I fell in love with James Taylor when I was like 12, and just studied how he plays guitar. And he plays guitar in a very different way from most guitar players. There's strumming guitar players, rhythm guitar players. There's flat picking guitar players. There's lead guitar players, and then there's James Taylor. If you want to cover James Taylor, so most guitars you do a finger pick, right? It's a pattern. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, right? He plays every note like it's on a piano. So you got to go note for note to try to figure this guy out. So I did that for forever and a day. And then put myself through college playing, and then made the worst decision of my life and went corporate for like 25 years. Had a big depressive episode that changed my whole life, and picked the guitar back up, and there you have it.
Wow. Do you mind sharing like where you were, like what fields you were in when you went to corporate?
Oh yeah, I did corporate turnaround, which was like the worst. It's the highest stress. Um, I bet the suicide rate among corporate turnaround executives is worse than surgeons because you're basically working for like no pay until you hit numbers. And I was an embedded CEO, so I had to, you know, I basically had to fix the company, and if I didn't hit a number, then I didn't get paid. If I did hit a number, I did. And I was working 60 70 hours a week, because there was no excuse, because it's and no excuse not to succeed. And then when I got sick, I just realized that was like a big part of it, so I said goodbye and started a podcast that actually pays bills, which is remarkable.
Yeah. But fantastic. It's nice to know that someone's got this figured out.
There's a few others.
But I don't know them, but I know you. So.
Okay, fair enough. I can be the local guy for you.
There you go. I like that. The poster child.
There you go.
The poster child. Yeah, talk a little bit about if you don't mind, dive in a little bit about to that period that happened that created the scenario to start doing songwriting.
I was starting to get sick already. And then I wound up getting arrested and facing 350 years in jail on 52 felony counts. Now I'm here, so it worked out. But the stress of getting through that, I was already departing reality. Then I got in the system, and what happens when you get in the system is you see a psychiatrist, and they write one prescription. Then you see another one, they write another one, and nobody's talking to each other. Yeah. So by the time I was out of the system, or 2 months into the experience, I was on 7 or 8 different medications. They're all counterindicating. One of them is lithium. Turns out, if you're me, lithium is toxic. So the drug I'm taking so that I don't kill myself is actually the one that's killing me. And I say, okay, I'm going to get off all this. And everybody in my world said, that's the worst possible decision that you could make. If you're medicated and you were wild before you're medicated and you're a little less wild, everybody's like, so everybody in my life except my wife and my daughter disappeared. And my wife even moved out for a while, and rightfully so. I gave her every reason to do it. So I made a plan to take my own life, because I was not putting my wife and my daughter, who was then 6, through watching me go through a trial and disappearing for 350 years. So I have a plan to do it, but I wanted to do it clear of head, so that nobody could blame the drugs. I just wanted everybody to know it's my decision, right? So we lived in a house on a reservoir, and it was the start of the summer. I made the decision to do it when my daughter went back to school in the fall, because she would have a support network and everything. I say I'm going to detox, and I go cold turkey. Even my own general practitioner, who had been my friend for 20 years, quit me. She's like, I can't, you can't do this, and I can't watch it. I can't treat you. The only person who hung around full time was my 6-year-old daughter, and she and I stayed in the house, and I detoxed. She was changing towels on me every 15 minutes. She was changing the bucket every half hour. She was making me peanut butter sandwiches because she was too young to use a stove. She would call my friends and family and demand that they come and take care of me or visit me. A lot of them didn't. She would walk me around outside so that I would get sun, and make up these 2-hour stories because she knew I wouldn't interrupt her, and just walk me in a circle so that I was getting sun. Sorry, I get emotional about this. So I detox, I get clean, but the plan, I still have the plan. I was 2 days away from the plan, and I went down to the reservoir, and something, I don't know what it was. I just know it wasn't me. Something said in my head, if you do this, the only thing, sorry, the only thing that your daughter's going to learn about love is that it's lost. And she's got the whole rest of her life to live with that, and you can't do it. So then I was like, all right, I get it. I have to live. So I started this crazy regimen that I adhere to today of exercise 2 hours a day, handwrite 3 pages first thing in the morning, meditate twice a day, and just make good decisions the rest of the day. And I treat my situation as chronic. I could probably skip a week and not see aliens, but it's I treat it as chronic, and I've been clear now for 11 years this way. So so that's what happened.
Wow. That's
Sorry,
a
you
heck of a
asked.
story.
Yeah.
No, that's a heck of a story, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're involved with so many different projects. I mean, I saw there was the Lifted project, which looks like this really amazing thing. And by the way, that song, I had to like get a box of Kleenex. I was like,
Thank
this
you.
is amazing. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
And everybody that you had involved with it. I mean, it looked like the who's who of the Hudson Valley area or whatever.
I got lucky.
Yeah, but I mean, there's Hudson Valley Housing. There's, what was it, Kidney for Clark, which retired New York City detective that was in renal failure. There's the Hudson Valley Animal Rescue, which of course had my attention because, my sister actually does dog training and she works with a lot of the animal rescues and that kind of thing. So, I mean, you're a man, you got your fingers in all sorts of pies.
Well, the Lifted project, yeah, I mean, it all kind of centers around the Lifted project, which is its own crazy story. So the way the Lifted project is basically a We Are the World for the Hudson Valley, but it's got a twist. Because Home from Here is like about half musicians, I know a lot of really, really good musicians. So I with the Lifted project, you get a song that I write. Last year we did a children's choir, we did a guitar symphony, we did a new song, and we did Won't Be Broken Again. But the way and we have nonprofit partners like the ones that you mentioned, and those nonprofit, we accept no money. Everything we do is volunteer. The nonprofit partners sell the tickets, but they get to keep the money. They fundraise to get it, but they get to keep the money. They fundraise day of, and they get to keep the money. We never touch a dime of anything. The venues are all volunteered. Last year there was like 70 plus musicians, all volunteer, and so the way it started, another interesting story. So I finally get clear, right? And my wife thinks that she bit her cheek, and so it doesn't heal for like a month, doesn't heal for a month and a half. And she goes to her dentist, and her dentist is like a very good friend of hers. I get emotional about this too, so sorry. 35 minutes later, she's in surgery, and they're supposed to be doing a biopsy. The surgeon comes out and he says, "Hey, I'm supposed to take a piece of this. It's 2.5 inches long, and I know what I'm looking at. Tell me to go long, and I'll go long." I'm like, "Go long." So he goes long, and then my wife goes on this crazy cancer journey that the Today Show covers and Newsweek covers. They took 2.5 inches of tumor out of her cheek and put her thigh in there. They cut her head half off. She used to call herself a Pez dispenser, from the back of the ear all the way down and across, because it was in 15 lymph nodes. And then after the surgery, the treatment was even more horrific. She got chemo, which wasn't bad, but the radiation was so bad. It was kind of radiation where they make that mask that fits to your face, and you're strapped down on a table and you spin for 20 minutes, and her face was so burned that every day there would be ash on her pillow, and she went bald in the back half of her head, and she couldn't talk, and she couldn't eat, and she couldn't stand, and she couldn't do anything. So what happens is when your treatment is done, they just kind of ring a bell and they wheel you out, and they hand you to whoever happens to be driving. In this case, it was me. And now it's my job. I am not a doctor like Melissa. I'm not even a nurse like anybody. I struggle with a Band-Aid. But so for the first month, she couldn't eat, and she was drooling, and she would sit in one chair, and that was pretty much it. So I took her out. So I said, okay, we got to get you outside. So it's January, and I put on a winter coat. She can't stand up in a winter coat. It's too heavy. So I put a blanket on her and I walk her out, and she gets out from underneath the shadow of the house, and she's kind of tips her head. And usually that means there's like a stitch pulling or something's wrong or blah, blah. But she hadn't felt the sun in 18 months. And so it was the first time that she felt the sun. So we start a walk every day, 10 feet day 1, 12 feet day 4, 14 feet day 8. We get to the point where we can get to the mailbox and back. But it kind of stalls out there. Now, I told you in the previous story that I work out 2 hours a day. It's not to be healthy. It's for my head. And so the 2 hours a day that I was off, I was at a gym, and I have a trainer friend named Julie, and she teaches these classes. And one day I'm like, hey, Julie, what would happen if I brought Trish in here and she just sat in the back and just kind of like, all she could do is shuffle her feet. Like, she couldn't walk. She could shuffle her feet. And Julie's like, absolutely, get her in here. Now, Trish at the time was bald in the back of her head, back half of her head. She had these big sunglasses. She wore big scarves because she had like a giant scar, and she thought she was disfigured, and everybody's looking at her, and her mouth was crooked. So we go to the back of the class, and the music starts, and Julie sees Trish kind of like shuffle, a little bit with me holding her arm. And she's like, no. She would have none of that. She brought Trish around to the front of the class, made Trish look at everybody, and did the whole class with Trish while everybody else did their own thing. So everybody else is lifting weights and jumping jacks, and Julie's just shuffle with Trish. We get down to the car. Trish is crying, and she says, do you think we could ever do that again? My phone rings. It's Julie. Julie says, get her in here every single day. And Julie volunteered her time. And so Trish would go to a class a day, and Julie would tell the class what to do and then leave us for 45 minutes or an hour and just work with Trish every day. No money exchanged, no favors exchanged, just love. We're halfway through this, and Julie realizes that part of Trish's struggle is that she doesn't like the way that she looks. Julie throws this huge party, makes Trish get a haircut, makes Trish go buy a dress, and there's like a line of 50 people, and she has to walk down a line of 50 people and hug each one. And everybody's so one of the things that she has to do in this class is called you know what a box jump is? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's like a 2-foot box, and you got to jump on it, right? Now Trish can barely walk. She's got neuropathy at this point. She's struggling to walk. So Julie sets out this 2.5-inch platform, and Trish tries to jump on it. She trips and falls. Julie throws her body over Trish. They go forehead to forehead. I don't know what they said. I only know that 2 minutes later, they get up. Trish wipes her eyes and her nose, grabs a couple light barbells, and starts going at it again. At the end of that class, Julie takes Trish over to the 2-foot box and says, we go every day until you can do it, until you can jump on this box. Every single day. My day off, we're in here. Sundays, we're in here. We go every day until you can get on this box. Again, no money, not even friends, like not even good friends, just so little by little, Trish gets to the point where she can jump up 6 inches. She gets to the point where she can jump up a foot. One day we're standing there, wow, and Trish is to the point where she can lift her foot and put it up on 2 feet and then take it down and do the other one. But there's now 4 months of love and trust in this whole thing. So Julie walks over to her, and I could hear it this time. Sorry. I could hear it this time because I was standing right there. And they go forehead to forehead again. And Julie goes, you can do this today. You are a feather. You can fly. You can do this today. She steps back. Trish looks at me. I'm like, I don't know. It's between you ladies. I don't know what to say. Circle of about 40 people get around. And of course, she jumps up on the box, right? Not a dry, not a dry. Yeah. Everybody saw it. So I do what any good husband would do now that we've met that goal. I go home and start watching TV because my job's done. And I see the We Are the World documentary. And I'm like, hey, dummy, you could probably do that. You're a songwriter and you know like a bunch of musicians. But I wanted it to be a little different. And the thing that struck me about the whole Trish story that I just told you is there was no agenda. There was no, like I said, no money. It was just one person just dedicating themselves to somebody for no good reason other than there was a problem in front of her and it needed to be solved. And, I always say that the surgeons and doctors saved Trish's life, but Julie gave her life back. And today she's a monster. She was out shoveling snow for 2.5 hours, and to look at her, you would never know it. But I was so moved by the idea that a person would just volunteer and do good for no agenda. So that's the premise of the Lifted Project. Is I get a bunch of musicians together. I give them song. We're not allowed to rehearse, so you get to see us be really bad. But then throughout 4 or 5 iterations, you get to see the song grow. And they're all choral pieces. And now last year, audience members started talking, so they come up on a microphone. One guy's like, "It was my birthday, and my family ditched me, and so I called about a ticket, and I got one. And I can't believe I'm standing here." And it's all just about lifting our nonprofit partners without any agenda or any money taking hands, only through the good luck that we have of living in a place where there's like 12,000 like really good musicians.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love all of that. And I remember us talking about it. Your wife was at the table next to us when we came to go see you, and you dedicated a song to her, which was very emotional. And then you told a little bit about the story, but also there was, I guess, one of the producer who cuts hair was sitting next to your wife. And she and I exchanged cards. I got her card here, like right next to me. I got it. And I'm like, I'm hearing about the project and whatnot, and you're telling me, we're emailing back and forth, and I go listen to the song, and I'm just like, wow, this is really cool. To me, this is what it's all about. This is what, as a nonprofit guy, the biggest thing that I fight with other nonprofits is, why are we not collaborating to have a bigger impact in the world? Why is there scarcity mindset? Why is there hubris or ego involved? It's not what elevates Chasing Forehand. It's what elevates more people so that we can change lives and do good in the world. So I love everything about the Lifted Project and everything that you're doing. So.
It's good is viral. Like if you just do a little bit of good, it'll go viral. And yes. I agree with you. Rising tide lifts all boats. And it's stupid it's good to compete in basketball. It's stupid to compete in good.
Yes. Let's just compound good. Let's just stack it. Let's stack it. Like, you do a little good, you do a little good, I'm gonna do a little good. We're gonna put it all together and like just watch it grow. Yeah. And it worked that way with the Lifted Project. I asked 2 singers to do it. They're like, yeah, we know you will do it. And by the way, you have to agree to do it before you hear the song. So you got to really trust me. But then they tell 2 people, and all of a sudden there's 75 singers in the room just wanting to, and it's a choir. Nobody's a star, just wanting to do good. Yeah, that's super awesome.
Yeah, which is the best reason to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly, the best reason. So one of the things that I like to do when I've got people coming on the show, and I've been successful doing it a couple of times, is I try to find something through scouring social media about something unique. I mean, not that everything you just shared with us for the first 25 minutes was not unique. However, I want to ask something that other people don't normally ask. And so this random thing popped up that you were interviewed and asked, and you are afraid of 2 things: Snakes and Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes. So you got to explain that. You got to explain that.
I got to hear this.
Snakes are the opposite of good. So they're bad. I remember being a kid and watching Mike Wallace rip into people on 60 Minutes. And he just had this ability of like not letting you off the hook. And like, I talk a lot. I can wiggle off of a lot of hooks. But Mike Wallace, when he was alive, would have had me cold. So yeah, Mike Wallace is the other thing that I'm afraid of. Well, now I'm a little bit afraid of my wife now, because now she's got like all kinds of superpowers. So I'm a little bit afraid of her. But Mike Wallace is no longer with us, so she might take his place.
I'd love that. I read that and I'm like, I gotta ask this question.
Yeah.
So, I know as we get closer to the end of our podcast, one of the things that I definitely wanted to do, you do each year, the Lifted Project is in like the first week or so of April, right?
Yeah, this year it's May 3rd, but it's typically first week of
May
April.
3rd. Okay.
May 3rd this year.
So May 3rd, and we will, when we put this out, we will put some of the links. Is there anything now that is going on that you want to tell people about?
We have the choir selected. I conduct it. It's enough, John Burton. So I have a music director now who's a professional conductor who's going to do like half of it. And then I'm an improvisational conductor. So you get like a little bit of me being a jerk, and then you get to sing real music, which is good.
You get very excited. You get very excited when you're conducting. I'm out. It pumps everybody up. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was fun. And so tickets go on sale at liftedproject.org on March 15th. You pick the charity that or the nonprofit partner you want to buy from, and we use Zephy, so all the money that you give goes to the charity or nonprofit partner. And we are having this year children's choir, again, a guitar symphony. We're having a new original song that I didn't write because I'm sick of me. So my friend Ant wrote this beautiful song. And in the middle of this year's show, we're doing a Lifted Miracle, which I can't talk too much about, but it's like a 15-minute magic trick that is for the entire, and it's crazy. So and tickets are $25. It's at Conway in Wappingers. Get there around noon on May 3rd, and it's the best review we ever got was Donna Thomas, who founded James's Warriors, or one of our nonprofit partners. She wrote on Facebook, she goes, "I don't know what I just saw, but it was better than church." And I'm like, I will take that.
Wow.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, look, we are so honored that you were here today to talk with us and tell us a little bit about your story and about your wife and the work that you're doing with the Lifted Project. I know for sure that Joe and I will buy a ticket here locally, and I'm excited to see the stuff that you do, keep up with you, and hear you play live. I think you're on to some really cool stuff, and I think you're a really cool dude. So happy to promote in any way that I possibly can. But we've been honored to have you, man.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance.
Yeah. Well, we have been on Time to Change. I'm Chasen Forehand.
I'm Dr. Melissa.
And we've been talking to John Burton. We'll catch you next time.